Hey everybody, Mr. Regan here, and today we're going to be reviewing our 4 key concepts and how our vocabulary words play into them. Initially, showing us how force and velocity have a cause and effect relationship. We're then going to dive into our cause and effect sorting tool to show how these key concepts kind of come into play in some different modeling examples. So let's go ahead and break this down. In our 4 key concepts, you had to drag and drop our different vocabulary in here to kind of show how to complete the sentences, to show the relationship between force and velocity. So let's go ahead and look at the very first one. A blank is required to change the blank of an object. Well, a force is what we would have dragged here, okay, is required to change the, and then this one should have been velocity of an object. So the force is required to change the velocity of an object. So in order for an object's velocity to change, a force must be at play. So this one is that basic concept that one is required for the other to operate. And now let's look at these next two, which deal with the strength of a force and how that affects the change in its velocity. A strong blank can blank a large change in blank. Well, a stronger force can cause should have been dropped in there, a larger change in, now we should have dropped in velocity. So a stronger force can cause a larger change in velocity. Concept 3 is the exact opposite, but the same words kind of dragged in the same place. A weaker force can cause a smaller change in velocity. And that kind of talks about the strength of a force in relationship to the change in velocity. Last but not least, how an object changes velocity, so we should have dragged the last velocity in there, depends on the direction of the, well, here's the last couple ones, force exerted, there it is, on that object. So how an object changes depends on the direction of the exerted force on the object. So the direction of the force will affect the velocity in different ways. Okay, kind of creating those different examples that we've seen. Now we're going to take these 4 key concepts and we're going to pull them into our next task, and that is task 6, where we're going to be diving into this sorting tool here. So you're going to start obviously by finishing this video, and then when you're done with this video, you'll click on the Amplify link and you'll turn in your work there. So let's go ahead and take a look at this sorting tool. So when you click on the Amplify icon, it's going to pull you into here. And the instructions say sort the cards to show in which direction a force was exerted. So we're really going to be pulling everything you see on this right side here. You might need to scroll up and down into one of these 2 columns. Now think of these kind of like our before, during, and after models. If you notice, they have the little velocity tails and the little icons, and we got a before push and after push. So what you're going to do is you're going to imagine, okay, these cause sentences will make these before and after pictures true. So let's take a look at the first one. Before push, after push. So if you notice when we look at this, the before push has it going to the right, and the after push, there's no velocity tail. So there is no velocity right or left. So we have a velocity going to the right. Before the push, a push was applied, and then after the push, it obviously is no longer moving. So which of these 2 cause sentences would make this one true? So let's look at the first one. The object pushed in the same direction as its motion. The object pushed in the opposite direction of its motion. So let's think about it. If I have an object going to the right before the push, and then we applied a push, what kind of push would cause it to stop? Would a push in the same direction? So if I push this object to the right in the same directions as of its motion, would that cause it to stop? Or if I push an object in the opposite direction of its motion, would that cause it to stop? Well, if I push it in the same direction of its motion, it's going to speed up. But if I push it in the opposite direction, we have the ability to stop it. So you're really going to have to notice, sort our picture here into this column based on how this statement makes the after true. And you're going to go through and you're going to do the same with all of the images here. Then we have some sentences that show the cause and effect relationship. So if an object is pushed in the same direction of its motion, would the effect be the object reverses direction? Or if the object pushed in the opposite direction of its motion, would the effect be the object's reverses its direction? So the question again is, if I were to put it in here, would this cause make this effect true? Or would this cause make this effect true? So you might have to think about kind of these objects or real life situations. But again, if I push an object in the same direction, it's going to help it speed up, okay? This object is going to reverse direction, so it needs to obviously go here. If I push something in the opposite direction, it has the ability to reverse direction or change direction. So your job, ladies and gentlemen, is to finish sorting these into the two columns and then hit the hand in button when you are done. If you have questions, reach out to me. Otherwise, good luck.